Hi, I'm Barbara Rowell. I'm a California transplant since moving to Clearfield, Utah, and I'm loving living in Utah. My family of origin is small, with both parents and one brother in addition to myself. My parents were married until they passed away a few years ago. My brother and his wife have been married since 1980, which is when my husband and I also got married. It's typical in my family to have married couples remain happy together and stay together. My husband and I are in the unusual situation, though, of having lived separate lives for over the past 20 years. So it's like I'm not married. The family we created is also small, with two grown sons, 36 and 33, and two grandsons, 16 and 9. Both of my kids and one grandson live in Clearfield, and it's really nice being so close to them, except for the missing of one who's still in California. If I were to marry again, I imagine a husband who's devoted to the gospel and to me. I would love to be best friends with my husband. We would enjoy talking and laughing together, being honest but without stating every negative thought that comes to mind. We would both have kindness toward each other and toward others, and we would remain close with our families. If we have interests in common, that would be great, but we would not have to be joined at the hip. We could support each other in our individual pursuits by allowing time without begrudging it, and by listening with actual interest when they talk about it. And we will ask questions to show our interest. This would really be interested in each other's lives more than the activity that we may or may not even care about. We would both have strong testimonies of the gospel and possibly go on a mission in the future. On a daily basis, we would probably spend most of our time together because we likely would both be retired. We could spend our time doing things that we enjoy, separately and together, and we could spend time in service to others. We would definitely have family prayer together and attend the temple together. My dog is here reminding me that we would have pets that we love and care for. Our pets would be an important part of our family. My vision of this marriage is realistic and not influenced by marital myths. The common marriage myths put a lot of responsibility on your spouse for your own happiness. They require unrealistic division of partnership, as in 50-50, and they don't take a lot of responsibility for their own part. Love me no matter what. I consider the biggest myth to be the need to feel better about your spouse before you can treat them better. I think of this as the biggest myth because it seems so logical to me. But oh my, it isn't. Last of all is the myth that couples should solve their own problems without any help. Sometimes anyone might need help. For the most part, I believe that most people who fall into believing these myths are young. Most people marrying are young, but I'm not. Once a person has very much life experience, the fallacy of these myths boils down to having common sense. So I don't think that my vision of marriage would be influenced by them. And I'm assuming this pretend husband wouldn't be influenced by them either. In going over my vision of marriage, I noticed that I have very little mention of other people. So, the potential weakness in my vision accounts for the fact that I'm quite introverted, and my husband would have to be tolerant of that. However, if my husband is more outgoing than I am, and it would be hard not to be, I would have to be tolerant of that. When I say that we should be tolerant, I really don't mean that we should just tolerate each other with our differences, but that we should truly be considerate of each other and not trying to force each other into our own way of being. This is my vision of a future marriage.